look at maybe even telco data, for example, because the amount of money that you load on your phone.
All you need to do is pass an email or a phone number, and these guys will show you every.
I'm not sure social media data is very trustworthy.
What are your thoughts around these two kind of data points and even other alternative data points that we might not be exploring? Back to the players, how relevant are they to the evolution we are seeing in the credit infrastructure space, especially for rate like these things that we don't normally hear of? Anybody's like, oh yeah, business is good, we got funding, but are the investors the cost of offering credits, especially from a Nigerian perspective? I would like to find out. So final thoughts about other possible ways that we can offer less risky credit, or even ways you can begin to pull data sources together to make more informed decisions. Because I think the cost is, first of all, because you're trying to find out as accurately as possible if somebody would default or not. So what are your thoughts around? Some people have said profile people's social media data. So if he's on social media, on Twitter, and on Monday she's asking for urgent 2K, and on Friday she's asking for urgent 2K, and then on Saturday she posts a picture after asking for urgent 2K where she's remain somewhere, right? So from these various data points, you can quickly say this girl, she's not very stable. Apart from that, another IFI has also been working for a while and has amassed a lot of money in her pension, and that data has been latent and passive somewhere for a while. What are your thoughts around these two kind of data points and even other alternative data points that we might not be exploring? I'll hear from you, Tope, I'll hear from you, Nifemi, afterwards, and then we'll close the session.
Yeah, so firstly, social media data. I know that there was a social lender that did something around social media data. I think it was your Facebook social graph. I don't really have much information about how that went, but if I'm not sure social media data is very trustworthy to be able to make lending decisions. I think if one were to look at data to make lending decisions, you want to look at maybe even telco data, for example, because the amount of money that you load on your phone and how frequently you load that phone with that amount can help to tell, how much you have to spend. Of course, the holy grail is getting access to the person's financial data across all bank accounts. That's the holy grail. We operate multiple bank accounts. That's the holy grail. Get access to that. That's what every lender probably wants. And it's possible you can build models around even the telco data. At Indicina, we're trying to explore partnerships with a couple of telcos to see if we can, build models around that. You mentioned pension data as well. I think that's a good source of data. I don't know if Nifemi has thoughts around pension, how to use pension data.
Okay, so Nifemi, let's hear from you. Topai said doesn't believe that social data is any good, but employers and people at the embassy are asking for your social media data now because people tweet without thinking about it or like things without, very conscious effort. Why is it not a representation of your ability, your willingness to pay? Your thoughts, please.
So I think it's a function of how you intend to use it, right? So maybe the use case, if he painted, may not be like the most ideal when it comes to, assessing that data point and, using that to make lending decision. So there's this platform that, we were trying to integrate with when I was at Fairmoney. They're called Sion.io. I think they're somewhere in Europe. I can't remember, which of the countries. But what they do is they check your social media footprints. All you need to do is pass an email or a phone number, and these guys will show you every social media platform that email is registered on. So it will show you the person's LinkedIn, Facebook, Skype. Like they have a rep, as long as that's the email you use there, and is one of the platforms that they support, they can get some information on it. So imagine you're applying for a loan, you say that you work at X place, and by the time they check, your LinkedIn is saying that you are not there, or you didn't update your LinkedIn, for them it's a flag. So they use it more on a fraud check level for lenders, right? But it's a good thing. If you are calling phone number through their APIs, they will return things like your WhatsApp, whether you're on WhatsApp, whether you're on Telegram, the platforms that use phone number as unique identifier, right? And that's just one way to look at it. Things around whether you're trustworthy or not, pieces of that could come up from your, say, Twitter. If you are the kind of person that maybe you're always insulting somebody, all those kind of things. So maybe not things like your propensity to pay back or all that, but it could be indicative of behavioral things that could still be helpful when they're coming up with credit models. And as far as alternate data sources are concerned, you talked about pension, right? And I'm like, there's no reason why the PFAs that we have, with the amount of data that they're sitting on, should start to quote and unquote commoditize it, right? If I have 4 million naira sitting in my pension, it's easy to sort of, based on my monthly remittance from my employer, deduct how much I earn in a month, right? So it saves, if that one data source exists, it saves the stress of checking bank statements, jiggling it together to say what's my total inflow versus total outflow, because in one clean swoop, you have a clear cut number on my monthly earnings. So there's even partnering with established payroll platforms. People like Remitter, they already do something like that. Who are the other big payroll platforms? Bamboo HR has, quite the clientele in Nigeria. The likes of Seamless HR have quite the clientele in Nigeria. So, why aren't we talking to these people to say, if you are an employer on this platform, we can partner with lenders to give your staff salary backed loans, and straight off it cuts off. I don't need to check BVN, I don't need to check anything. All I'm waiting for is how much does this person earn. And in your API, you're telling me when he resumed. The day the person leaves, the HR platform already has that. So it tells me that this person has left. And what that also does is, the moment you're able to drive down the cost of giving the loans, the lender can, in good faith, reduce the interest rates, because for all intents and purposes, the loans are not as expensive as they were. And so there is absolutely no reason why they should still be giving them at such high risk. Tokwe also mentioned telco data. At some point, maybe we will also start looking heavily into bill payments data. How much electricity do you buy?
I think we have lost Nifemi. Your voice went off, but that's also a little bit good, because we are running out of time and then we need to close this. I have so much more questions, written down here, but I'm watching the time and we stretched it beyond the time allocated already. So this has been very insightful. To everybody that is watching on YouTube, thank you very much for logging in. For the questions that we explored here, and even the ones that have been unanswered, if you're in the payment log community, just log back into the community and look for the room that is titled Credit Infrastructure Room, and we're going to continue the conversation there. That's one of the advantages of being in the community. Thank you very much, Nifemi, for your time. Thank you very much, Temitope, for your time, and for everything that you've highlighted that is happening at Woodcore and in Indicina. Thank you very much for all the insights that you've shared. And thank you to everyone. Special thank you to the Payment Log team. They put all this together and did all the behind the scenes sellotaping and everything to make this happen. Thank you very much. And have a good evening, everybody.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.